I am Tom or B. Either one works. My pronouns are they, them. And my mother is 100% Ashkenazi, so I am 50% Ashkenazi. We came from a little shtetl called Sutlkov on the border of Ukraine and Poland. If I take this thing off and I remove all the Yiddishisms from my vocabulary, which I grew up hearing Yiddishisms from my mother and Yiddish from my grandfather, there was actually a point where I didn't realize which words were from Yiddish and which ones weren't. If I can manage to remove those things, then I'm just another white person that benefits from all the other white privileges. And I think when you are in extremely judgmental places like chat rooms or in comments of TikToks or something, if you don't say you're Jewish, then you definitely have all those privileges, and it's super obvious at that point how much privilege you have. One thing about anti-Semitic acts or acts of anti-Semitism is that the majority of the public has a very different understanding of what anti-Semitism is than most Jews have an understanding of what anti-Semitism is. So an often thing that you hear is when someone says they don't support Israel or they're anti-Zionist, a lot of non-Jewish folk will immediately cry anti-Semite at whoever is saying whatever they're saying. And you can, there are people that don't support Israel because they're anti-Semitic. That is true. But you can have opinions on what the matter is. Another thing is people who comment Free Palestine on people's posts. Just because you are Jewish doesn't mean you have a say in what's going on over there. I currently think some of the things that the Israeli government has done, many of the things the Israeli government have done, are absolutely atrocious, and I can't support them in any kind of way. There's a lot of assumptions about identities that are immediately targeted if one is to find you Jewish. There's the obvious ones, the obvious acts of anti-Semitism when synagogues are attacked, when Jewish people are attacked for being Jewish, or just on a lot of sites you'll see people just straight up harassing Jewish folks, and it's something that we live with. And some of this comes from just people's hate. Some of it comes from white supremacy, and some of it, I believe, comes from the Israel-Palestine conflict and not being able to separate the idea that those who support Israel aren't all Jews, and not all Jews support Israel. They've been trying to get rid of us, the Jewish people, for a long time, so that we can no longer perform our practices. And I believe that if we give up our practices on our own, whether this be because people are becoming more secularized or they don't have interest in this anymore, then they win, because we'll have lost our practices on our own. If your culture is important to you, practice it. You don't have to practice your religion, practice your culture. Cultural diversity is beautiful, and it's important, and it keeps this world special.